8 years, they have not passed an audit. They can't account for over $500 billion. This is the Pentagon, not the Marine Corps. I mean, $500 billion, sir, is an aircraft carrier. Somewhere in the Pentagon, we've lost an aircraft carrier. And that hurts me because I come from this conservative area. My daddy fought in the 1st Marine Division. His colonel was Chesty Puller. My mama lost her oldest brother fighting the Nazis. My wife is a widow, and the biological father of my child was a master chief on a Navy sub. So the military runs very deep in my family, and patriotism does as well. But when we continue to feed this insatiable diet of waste and abuse, it continues to, I think, weaken us from a fiscal standpoint and a military standpoint.
I would first offer time to the distinguished gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Burchett. Gentleman's recognized.
When you said distinguished and gentleman, I didn't look up, but then when you said Tennessee,
yes, sir.
I realized you were
yes,
talking about me, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Ranking Member Mafumi. Appreciate y'all being my friend. Have a few questions. Mr. Mansfield, is DOD's fiscal year 26 budget going to be higher than fiscal year 25's budget?
That is my understanding, yes.
And how much of that is spending is mandatory and how much is discretionary?
The vast majority is discretionary.
The spending has increased, but I assume that DOD still has not completed a clean audit. Is that correct?
Correct.
Why is the Marine Corps able to complete a clean audit, but no one else at the Pentagon is?
So I think it goes back to some of what my fellow witnesses were talking about. It was a deliberate and long-term effort to get to that point.
To get to the point of not being able to pass an audit?
Being able to pass an audit. So there was about a 3-year cycle. It was a 2-year audit, but they capitalized on a lot of work that was performed in previous financial statement audits to look at accountability and how testing results were coming out. They implemented a new system, DAI, which has some inherent controls within it. And then they validated the information within that through a substantive testing effort. So it was a very labor-intensive effort, taking actually a little over 2 years. It was actually extended past the November deadline into, I think, February, in order to actually get the full financial statement audit testing completed. So it was a deliberate and kind of, I think, very manual, what I refer to as a brute force auditing approach. It's not your standard approach of doing internal control testing.
I see part of our problem here is we're preaching to the choir. 8 years, they have not passed an audit. They can't account for over $500 billion. This is the Pentagon, not the Marine Corps. I mean, $500 billion, sir, is an aircraft carrier. Somewhere in the Pentagon, we've lost an aircraft carrier. And that hurts me because I come from this conservative area. My daddy fought in the 1st Marine Division. His colonel was Chesty Puller. My mama lost her oldest brother fighting the Nazis. My wife is a widow, and the biological father of my child was a master chief on a Navy sub. So the military runs very deep in my family, and patriotism does as well. But when we continue to feed this insatiable diet of waste and abuse, it continues to, I think, weaken us from a fiscal standpoint and a military standpoint. We continue down this path of an antiquated system where we vote for huge bloated budgets for powerful members of Congress, and we have programs, apparatus, machinery, everything imaginable that gets mothballed the day we put it out. And Mr. Chairman, that has got to stop. We have got to educate the public, and they need to be as angry as I am about this, because we cannot continue down this path. I think we're endangering our military. We're endangering our men and women. Daddy used to say, he was quoting somebody else, but he said, old men make decisions and young men die. And when we're sitting here having $500 million aircraft being proposed and we're putting out, We're allowing the Chinese to make the microchips for them that could possibly turn off some of those aircraft mid-flight, we've been told. This is not just some conspiracy theory that is talked about. And we continue down this path of greed, and when we have members of this body that profit from this and are allowed to do individual stock trades and continue down this, the public does not trust us, and dadgummit, they ought not trust us. We have not been good stewards of their money. This is going to continue until we get off our high horse and realize what the heck is going on. And what is going on right now is we're allowing people to steal from us because we're hogs at the trough. Congress is hogs at the trough, and I'm convinced of that. You want to follow the dadgum money trail, it goes right back to Congress. And someday I hope some members of Congress are let out of here in handcuffs because of that. Because these men, they're the ones having to come out and defend the indefensible. And I want to salute the Marine Corps and your all's great heritage. And my mama said after Daddy died, if Daddy hadn't been able to go fight in that war, she probably couldn't have been able to live with him because he loved this country and he loved the Corps. He loved Chesty Puller as well, but that goes a lot deeper. So thank y'all. Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I went to preaching. I didn't even have we'll have a special love offering when this is all over with. We didn't even have an altar call, but thank you for allowing me to indulge, Mr. Chairman.